and bold. He sits in the background, waddles his way around, wanting the country to be guilty of hurting people's feelings all over the world, going on an apology tour. Donald Trump is the leader that's going to go in the room and say, I'm looking out for my people. Y'all can do whatever y'all going to do. We ain't apologizing, and I'm looking out for my people. I'm looking out for the American citizens. And that's what President Trump has consistently done. Let me get a couple of these super chats in here because you guys are going super chat crazy. Let me get a couple of these super chats. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who are participating in the super chat tonight. Thank you so much. Pence was landing some hard bombs, some hurt bombs. Please, Jesus, please have President Trump, Mike Pence win in 2020 election. I agree 100%. Victor, amen. Elver, Mike Pence debated like a boss. Kamala hasn't been spanked so hard since Willie Brown. Oh, don't say that. Willie Brown, she went horizontal for a career to go vertical. Y'all ain't catching that. That's my boy Jericho Green. If y'all ain't following Jericho Green, y'all tripping. Let's see. Keto, love the debate of our vice president. Rose, thanks so much. Jennifer, thanks so much for the super chat. Leslie, thanks so much for the super chat. Go Pence. Thank you, Brandon, for everything you do. I appreciate it. Aaron, this was the worst butt whipping since Mike Tyson beat Holmes. Patrick, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, Tatum, huge fan. Pence won this. Do you think Trump can win with Pence alone, or does he need to bring in do he need to bring it the next debate? Oh, no, he need to bring it. See, this is what happened. Donald Trump and Joe Biden, you know, they were going wild. They were doing this. Two old men fighting each other and just being crazy. And Donald Trump landed a couple haymakers. Nobody got knocked out. Donald Trump landed a couple haymakers, and he got hit a couple times. Mike Pence did a TKO. He did a Floyd Mayweather. Boom, boom, boom. She out of there. Once he talked about her record in the black community and her prosecution record, boom, she was right on the chin. She went down. Now, we are now at a point of success to a certain degree because Donald Trump kind of barely won, in my opinion. I think it was like two people beating each other to death dang there, and Donald Trump got like one or two more hits in than Pence did. I mean, than Joe Biden did. And he kind of skated out of that one. Mike Pence was strong. Mike Pence presented as a leader. Mike Pence was an American. Mike Pence stood up for Christian values. Mike Pence was on it. This was a clear victory. Now we got two down, a sketchy win, a dominant win, and we cannot come with a loss. That is what can't happen. We can't do a loss because then it'll break even. Let me tell you something about we need Pence is setting us up, throwing the alley-oop, you know, throwing the softball to Trump. Trump, knock it out of the park. And Trump got to come through and get out of that emotional stuff. And I love Trump, and I hope he ain't mad at me saying this. You got to get out of the emotional stuff and the bickering. You're a grown man. You need to be thinking through your processes and your accomplishments. So when Joe Biden says something stupid, just come back and hit him. They don't have anything to work with. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have nothing to work with. Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist during the debates. That is an easy hit on the chin. Easy. Boom. And Joe Biden has been in office for 40-some years. Joe Biden was a part of one of the most corrupt administrations in American history. And I heard Pence touch on that tonight. Joe Biden was a part of the most corrupt administration ever. Those are things that you got to hit him on. Boom, 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 right. Boom. And if you're gonna talk over him, just talk over him real quick. Put your points out there. See if he frees. If he frees up and he pause and do a little, then keep talking. None of that shit. And then back up again. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. In my personal opinion. Get your hits and mixes in, then back. Let's see. Jen, thanks so much for the super chat. Victor, thanks so much for the super chat. I think I already answered Victor. Let's see. Crypto conservative. When the fly was on his head, I missed everything he said at the time. Laugh out loud. That was weird that fly flew on his head. I was like, Is he gonna knock the fly off his head, or is he gonna let the fly be on his head? Is somebody gonna tell him he got a fly on his head, or we just gonna let him just walk with a fly? Just talk with a fly on his head. But that was weird. And he happened to have white hair, so the fly being on his head, you can just see it. His hair, you can see the fly right away.
Memes already.
Yeah, even though it was biased against, he let her talk herself to a corner.
ABL.
And just annihilated her with facts. Dems are the reason for the chaos today. 100%. All they got to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to win a debate against these liberal lunatics, let them talk themselves in ignorance. Let them just go on and talk. Let them go on and bump their gums, and they're going to talk themselves into stupidity. No rational American thinks it's reasonable for us to lose all of our economy and raise taxes out of the wazoo to combat climate change. What are you even talking about? Are you telling me that we can completely change the spectrum of the world and the weather in the world in 3 years? Like, what are you talking about? There's no way that we could have made the country worse in 3 years, just like we can't change, not the country, but the world, just like we can't change the weather of the world in 3 years, especially when we only account for about 15% of the carbon emissions, and we have dropped carbon emissions since President Trump been in office. Okay. I'm gonna let y'all ponder on that one. Let's see. Pence performance was presidential, not vice presidential. Amen. I agree, man. I was like, God, thank you, Pence. I can't believe you could debate that good. Kamala laughed when she's lying, and she was laughing a lot, lying through her teeth whenever she spoke. 100%. Kamala didn't give much straight answers because she can't. Victor, preach it. Appreciate the super chats, man. I'm gonna get down to a couple other ones, and then we gotta bounce. I gotta get back to the subject at hand. Let's see. Fly on his head proved that he had military bearing.
Yeah, true.
I feel like freaking Kamala Harris didn't answer any questions. She danced around the answers. Pence is such a wonderful man. I mean, he is. Chad Mayer, thank you so much for the super chat. The thing about Mike Pence is that he just kept his cool. And I was wondering why he was talking so slow. But the reason why he's talking slow is because he's actually processing and thinking through his answers and making them methodical and making them make sense. It's very clear. Everybody that's watching this live stream, everybody that watched the debate, it's very clear that she was outmatched with facts. Pence was speaking facts. He was speaking to the American people. Pence was calm, cool, and collected American. He was strong. He was confident. And he had facts to back up what he was saying. Kamala Harris was shaking her head, being arrogant, being boastful, and she didn't have any facts. Woman. They don't have a real record. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden aren't really cool. They're not really friends. They do not think alike. She drugged him in the presidential debate. But they get on the stage and they act like, oh, we've been friends. No, it can show that y'all not friends like that. And you fundamentally disagree with what Joe Biden stands on. The Green New Deal and all this other stuff. You voted for the Green New Deal. Kamala Harris voted for the Green New Deal. I think she co-authored the Green New Deal. And now she's saying, oh, I support Joe Biden. And Joe Biden is saying he don't support the Green New Deal, but the Green New Deal is the exact same thing that he's proposing. America's not going for that. I think the biggest loss for the Democrats tonight, was the taxes and Kamala Harris' record in the black community. But the black community isn't everybody that's voting, right? It's 13% of the population. And probably half of most people in America don't even vote. So you're talking about 6% of the population is going to turn out in the black community, and 40% of everybody else is probably going to turn out in the rest of the country. Most people don't vote. But when Pence and Kamala was talking about taxes, when you think about all the jobs that have been lost, when you think about the recovery that's being attempted after all of the turmoil we faced, and you want to propose raising taxes, I mean, you can't be serious. Like, you can't run on that. Like, fortunately, God has been really blessing me, my wife, and my family. So we have done good in the pandemic, right? More of y'all watching these videos. So we've done pretty decently in our genre of influence. But there's a lot of people that have lost a lot. And mind you, me and my wife, we give a lot. We give to the church. We support people. So we have been able to take our blessings and bless other people. But a lot of people have lost careers that they're never going to get back.
Thank you.
Some people are now interjecting themselves back into the market. There's a lot of businesses that are opening back up that are trying to start up from scratch, that are trying to recover what they lost. And you're going to impose a tax on top of that. You're talking about assault in a womb. You're going to impose a tax? Ain't nobody want to hear the only taxing people. If you're going to roll back the Trump tax cuts, which benefits everybody across the board. The tax cuts were across the board. If you're going to eliminate that, but you're not going to set the precedent of any kind of amendments to it, I don't even know why I said set the precedent. That means nothing. If you're not going to have any amendments to it, you're not going to have a clarifying statement on it, then you're going to remove all of the tax break that everybody has already had. This is not finna turn into somehow a reprieve for people that are everybody that's making under 400,000. That's not true. They lying to you. You can do math. If they raise taxes by 10% on everybody making over 400,000 a year as a household income, that's still not trillions of dollars of tax revenue. That's not trillions of dollars of tax revenue. And any economist that's worth their salt, and Thomas Sowell is one of the ones that teach about this, and I side with his teachings. And it's not just teaching, these are facts, but he has a philosophy that goes along with the facts. When you raise taxes, it's highly unlikely that people pay taxes, meaning that big time millionaires and billionaires, they find ways to not pay taxes. They find ways to evade taxes, put their money overseas. When you raise taxes to an astronomical number that people are not willing to pay, they either default. And what are you going to do when they default? You have no money coming into the treasury. Or they skirt ways, or they do not become as entrepreneurial as they would if they had less taxes to pay. When you see taxes being lowered, this is historical proof. When taxes are lowered, we have more money coming into the treasury than we do when they raise taxes. Why? Because the taxes appear to be reasonable to the common man and business owners. Therefore, they're more willing to just pay the taxes than to find ways to evade an astronomical number of taxes that is unreasonable to pay. I'm just saying. And I don't want to hear anybody talk about President Trump only paid $750. That dude has paid hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. Federal income tax is not the only taxes that you pay. Imagine all the sales. Think about this. Imagine all the sales taxes that President Trump paid when he purchased his airliner. When he purchased that jumbo jet that he had, the taxes on that purchase probably is more than people will ever pay in their lifetime. I think his jet was $100 million. Like, if he paid at $100 million, if Trump paid 10% on $100 million, he will be paying $10 million in taxes. Some people never pay that much money. Now, you can just go to 5%. He will be paying, if you go to 5%, instead of paying $10 million in taxes, he'll be paying $5 million in taxes. Some of y'all will never pay $5 million in taxes. And if the tax was 5% on the plane that he bought for $100 million, y'all would never pay that much in federal income taxes he paid in a sales tax transaction. What about the taxes for all the properties he owned? What about the property tax that he paid on Trump Hotel, the Trump Vineyard, the Trump Resorts? He paid hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. Property tax, sales tax, payroll tax. He got tons of employees that work for him all over the world. I mean, at least in the United States, because those are the ones who are going to pay our taxes here in the United States. I don't know if there's revenue generated overseas. That revenue is counted here and you pay taxes on that. I'm not sure. I'm not a tax preparer. But these people are lying. They're being disingenuous. They're not telling the truth. And I need to find out. And anybody watching this, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Y'all, why do you go to a tax preparer? One reason is so you can be compliant. The other reason is so you can pay the least amount of taxes as you can possibly pay. Everybody. That's why tax preparing is a job. It's a skill, and the better you can do it, the more money you make, because people do not want to pay taxes. Right now, I'm communicating with my CPA and my bookkeepers to figure out what do I need to do to pay the least amount of taxes legally possible. That's all I want to know. My CPA, I'm like, what do I need to do to not have all my money go to taxes? What do I need to do? Because when you make X amount of dollars, if you're in the top percent bracket, just say you make millions of dollars, you got to pay 40% taxes. Do you know how stupid that sounds? If you made $1 million and you got to pay 40% of that, that's $400,000 off $1 million that you made. $400,000. You know how crazy that is to pay that much amount of taxes? Just say you made 10 million. It gets crazier. And you think a person that make millions of dollars like that want to pay that many taxes? The devil is a lie. And then you pay tax to the government to do what? To do the Green New Deal? To have transgender study research? I mean, what are y'all, to pay for Planned Parenthood? I'd rather give my money to the church that I trust, that's in the community doing great things, like Dream Center, like Dream City. Let me see. Let's see. Let me get a couple of these super chats. Let's see. Mario, thanks for the super chat. Biden in office for 47 years or 19% or Americans. Let me read that again. Biden in office 47 years or 19% or Americans' existence. Trump in office 4 years or 1.6%. Do you see the problem in America? I think I get what you're saying, Mario. My reading skills are subpar. But I think about it. Think about it. People want to say, oh, Donald Trump has only been in public office for 3.5 years. Like, how is the world to blame for one co-equal branch of government being in office, his administration, for 3 years, and you want to blame everything that has ever happened when you were in office for 47 years? You've been a part of every single administration, or, not a part of it, but you're in office during 47 years of administrations that have come and gone. And you have promised and promised and promised. Y'all ain't done nothing. Yeah, y'all ain't done nothing. Y'all could have done prison. Why in the 8 years that you and Barack Obama was in office, why y'all don't do nothing for prison reform? Why you don't do nothing for police reform if y'all claim that there needs to be police reform? What significant moves have y'all made in implicit bias and racial injustice and the justice system? What improvements have y'all made in 47 years? None. None. All of y'all are a piece of you-know-what. Let's see. Brandy, thanks so much for the super chat. Thank all of y'all for the super chats. If I don't get your super chat, I'm sorry. Y'all got a whole bunch of them going. The fly on his head prove he is a military. I think I already read that. I think I'm down a little bit further. Let's see. Rustin, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you all for the super chat. A, thanks for the super chat. End times. Thank you, Sean. Thank you. The news reported the man only paid $750, but have yet to show one tax return to prove their claim. That's another thing. That's another thing. I don't understand for the life of me how they are making these frivolous claims. They have no proof behind what they're saying. They are literally saying President Trump only paid $750. He denied that. They're not showing documents. They're saying, oh, he only paid $750 in taxes. Like, no documents. True or not, there's no documents. Then they turn around and say President Trump has been disparaging the military personnel. What? President, where's the proof? Who said he said that? Oh, somebody said he said that. And y'all running with it like it's true. There's no evidence. There's no documentation. There's no recorded line where President Trump has said something like that disparaging the military. When President Trump has stood strong for the military, helped build the military, and have respect for the military every single chance he gets. And y'all want to make up something like that. Biden actually said and called military personnel at a speech some derogatory names that's on tape. And they trying to act like that didn't happen. it's just blowing my mind. It's literally blowing my mind.
Clap
Let's
for me,
see.
stupid
Sean,
bastards.
thank you for the super chat. Maxim, thanks so much for the super chat. Keep doing what you're doing, brother, to speak the truth and to empower people. By the way, how is Candace doing? Candace is doing great. Candace Owens and my wife are both almost a few months apart in pregnancy, and it's pretty funny. We have babies at the same time. Let's see.
Baby.
Mr. Debate, but what I hear basically, Pence was B. Tatum, and Kamala Harris was the crazy little girl from last night's stream. That's kind of true, though. I ain't gonna even lie. Mike Pence was stomping Kamala out. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
Stomping her out into wine.
Kamala Harris, if you go back and look at the debate, and I say anybody should go back and look at the debate, Kamala Harris just looked unprofessional. Like, she make women leaders look really bad. And what I'm saying is that women get criticized, right? Unjustifiably in many cases, in my personal opinion. Women get criticized on their demeanor and character when dealing in certain situations. And men are perceived to have this strong, hard stance. They say what they mean. They're calm, cool, and collected, or they're up here. But when you look at Kamala Harris, she was very frail and she lacked confidence. She's just, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Like, you see, that is insecurity. You don't have to roll your eyes, roll your neck. You, by the way, all of this stuff that she doing, you look real weak. And it's funny because I'm glad he picked Kamala, because she's a weak woman. Thank God she didn't pick a strong woman that would have got up there with Pence and been hitting them like boom, 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 boom. Thank God, my personal opinion, because that would have been a fight. But Kamala is weak. And let me tell you what I've learned. I'm gonna tell you guys what I learned. When you are unprepared, that's what you look like. You look like Kamala Harris. Ask me how I know. I've been in situations where I was unprepared. I had to ramble my way out of certain discussions that I wasn't prepared to answer. I wasn't prepared. Now y'all probably will never see me in that position, and probably never will. It wasn't on a big stage. But when you're unprepared and you I don't know, she thought she was just gonna walk all over him and play SJ. You look like Kamala Harris. When you were that kid that was studying all night and you know what you're supposed to be doing, and you got your note cards ready, and you studied, and you rehearsed, and you had a prep team, and you did all this stuff, you look like Mike Pence. You're out there dominating. You're out there bringing your facts. You don't have to argue because you're confident on your answers. You don't have to argue because you confidently understand your opponent. That is the difference between Kamala and Mike Pence. And I just will say this. I'm glad, thank God, that Donald Trump picked Mike Pence, because Mike Pence is the counterbalance weight to President Trump's craziness sometimes. You know, I ain't gonna lie, man. I love Trump, but I was disappointed in the last debate, although I think he slapped Joe Biden around. But I was disappointed in the last debate because I wanted the president to speak in facts, not emotion, not yelling at a man because he's probably dumber than you. But speak with facts. Talk about your accomplishments. Don't get into a pen match with an old senile man. Let him talk stupidly. The American people aren't falling for it. They're waiting to hear your response. And when you respond with integrity, when you respond with dignity, you respond in a calm manner, respectfully. Let them talk, let them bury themselves. You come back with the facts, you win. So I really do hope that the team that's preparing President Trump is telling them, prepare like Pence. Prepare like you winning. You already a winner. Everybody want to vote for you. All you got to do is just show your resolve and what you have done. One of the biggest things that I'm going to talk about real quick, is that we are winning. And I'm not saying that for us to get arrogant and don't show up to the ballot, show up to vote. But it's like, no, we should be confident that we're going to stomp them out. This ain't going to be just we going to win. We got to stomp them out. We want them to lose miserably. We don't want to just win. We want to run up the score. Like my mission is not to say, oh, don't get too no. We're up by 50 points. Can we get to 70-0? Let's get I remember when I was in high school. Let me tell y'all a story real quick. Yeah, people will appreciate this. When I was in high school, we were the top team in the district. We had 9 D1 players on our team, and 4 of us were All-American football players, meaning 4 of us were the top players in the nation on one high school football team. All of us had D1 scholarships. All of us were elite athletes. 4 or 5 of us, 4 of us ran 4.3 in the 40. We had an elite team. We ran through people in our district like wet toilet paper. There was a team called Polytechnic, Fort Worth Polytechnic. They didn't have the resources. They were a very poor school. They did not have the athletes. They had 1 kid on the team that was an athlete. We whooped them every year. We put our backups in. So this year, my last year, it was my junior year. No, it's my junior year. It was my junior year in high school. Their coach got arrogant and said, no, I'm not trading film with you, because typically we trade film so we can look and study them. They study us. We don't kill them. You know what I'm saying? We're fair. We beat them like 40-0, 50-0, and stuff like that. So he told our coach, I'm not sharing film with you. Y'all can just play without us, without seeing our film, which is something that's uncustomary, and it's a spit in the face to a high school football coach. So you know what our coach told us? We're going to run up the score on them for that bull crap that they pulled. We're going to run up the score. We're going to take no prisoners. If they want to come out and play games, we're going to show up and show out. And I bet you $1 million they'll never do it again. And that's my pitch to you while I close, is that we're going to run up the score. If they want to try to steal our country, if they want to try to rob us of our freedom, if they want to try to destroy our Judeo-Christian values, if they're going to try to demolish and disrespect the reputation of our president, who have gotten away from private life to come into our circle of influence, to change the country, to benefit us, not himself. He don't even take a salary. That man is in his 70s. He could have been skating on a beach somewhere, golfing every day of the week, but he said no because he cared about America. So if you're not going to trade the film with us, you don't want to play fair, you're going to have our president be impeached. Y'all got these investigations going. If Barack Obama is going to spy on our duly elected president, if you want to play games, we're going to run the score up. We're not going to negotiate. I don't want to hear you talking. We beat that team by 85 points. The only reason we didn't get to 100 is because we couldn't score fast enough, and the ref couldn't run the ball back and kick the ball off for us to score again. And we had backups in scoring 6 touchdowns. We ran the score up. America, we need to run the score up. It don't need to be close. We don't care nothing about mercy. We don't care nothing about sportsmanship. We're gonna run up the score. We're gonna run up the score like we never done in any election in United States history. We're running up the score. Everybody's gonna show up. You're gonna vote. You're gonna vote for President Trump. You're gonna vote for Republicans down ballot. I don't care who they are. You're gonna vote for them down ballot, because these liberals want to destroy America, and we ain't playing it. You ain't playing it. I ain't playing it. We ain't playing it. And before you take my guns, which you'll never get, before you put me in a position to have to defend myself against you taking my guns, before you have every woman going to Planned Parenthood, before you have our young boys walking around not knowing if they are man or woman, putting this bull crap on the TV, brainwashing people into socialism, before you disrespect our forefathers, our ancestors, before you disrespect the founding fathers who died so we can have freedom, who stood up in the face of adversity. For all you Texans out there, remember in the Alamo, people who have fought for things that meant something. Before you take it all away from us, we're going to fight. And the way we fight right now is voting. Don't take the day off. Don't act like you don't have to vote in this election. Don't act like you got it in the bag. Run up the score. Run up the vote. All this cheating they're going to try to do, I know for a fact they're going to try to cheat here. They're going to try to cheat there. They're going to do all this BS. If we run up the score, it don't matter what they do. I don't care how many mail-ins they get. We're going to run up the score. I need to make a shirt that says, run up the score. Run up the vote. I have to empower us because this is a crucial time in history. Our country is at stake. Our children's lives are at stake. Your grandchildren's lives are at stake. This ain't a game. This ain't nothing to play with. This ain't no bad dream and you wake up and everything is good. These Democrats are going to destroy America. They hate police officers. They hate the men and women wearing a uniform. They hate them. The Democrats, they hate white people. The white people that's going to stand up for freedom, the white people that are conservative, that stand up on Christian values, the ones that don't believe in abortion, still believe in spankings. They hate you. They hate you. If you don't know they hate you, when you get confronted in the streets, are they on the TV crying? Are they on the TV calling for an end to this crap when they're confronting people at restaurants? No, they're not. They don't care. They're at the border crying and over illegals. They're not crying for legal Hispanic citizens. They don't care about legal Hispanic citizens. They don't care that you waited a year, 2 years, 5 years, paid $30,000 to get over here in this beautiful country. Going through the struggle of immigration, not knowing if half of your family going to be able to make it over here legally. Is your husband going to be able to come over here legally after all these years? They don't care about you. They want to get these people in here who came to our country illegally when they had every ability like you did to come here legally. They don't care about you. They don't care about the inner city. They're talking about defunding the police. What sense does that make? Defunding the police. If anybody needs the police, it's the inner cities. You know why? Because the people who are out here doing drugs, selling drugs, doing all these other crimes, which I cannot name on this live stream because then they shut me down. All these people that are doing that need to face justice. The people that are out here doing drive-bys and little innocent kids are laying lifeless in the streets. The people need justice. Kamala Harris ain't bringing you justice. Your local activists ain't bringing you justice. They're not going to investigate. They're not going to arrest anybody. They're not going to do anything that's not politically expedient. They need justice. That justice comes for the men and women wearing a uniform. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. And if these Republicans didn't care about you, I'll tell you. From what I see, and I used to proclaim to be a Democrat, from what I see is that the Republicans are the only ones that care about America. Sustainable, realistic America. This Green New Deal stuff is fraudulent. Completely fraudulent. Trillions and trillions of dollars that they hope that they can recoup. They hope. Imagine this. Riddle me this, ladies and gentlemen. Riddle me this. If they put up all this raising taxes, they're going to raise your taxes to X amount. And then the pandemic happens again. Let's just say that the pandemic is legitimate, which I know is BS. Let's say the pandemic is illegitimate. They raise taxes. They got trillions of dollars that they raising. And then the pandemic hit. You done paid all your money to taxes. Now you done lost your whole job, your whole existence in the professional sense. And they're going to take that money that they stole from you and they're going to give it to people who've been sitting on their A all this time doing nothing. You know what they doing with their money? They going to Louis Vuitton. They looting places. They going and buying liquor and all kind of stuff irresponsibly with your tax money that you work hard for, and they raise taxes to do that. Everybody who's paid to go through college, I paid for my master's degree. I paid for my master's degree. I paid. Everybody who's paying to go to college, what a spit in your face that they're going to charge you taxes after you didn't pay for yours. They're going to charge you taxes to give other people free education. And you know what happened when it's free? You don't care about it. You don't care about it. When I was in college, people were drunk. They were drunk every weekend. Drunk every weekend. You give me a tally of how many people finished with B's. How many people graduated cum laude? How many people graduated magna cum laude? How many people graduated summa cum laude? You explain that to me. I remember it wasn't that many people because people do not care about getting excellence or being excellent in their education. Most people don't care. They're getting drunk. They're having a party. And they're going to have a party for free on your hard-earned money. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. That's why I don't support these fools. It's not because I have some affinity about Donald Trump and I love Donald Trump. I mean, sometimes I don't even like stuff he say. I think that a lot of things he do say is powerful. I think he's a great leader. I admire President Trump of what the things that he's been able to accomplish over the span of his life. He's one of the greatest men to ever live in America. Donald Trump is one of the greatest men to ever live, in my personal opinion. I'm not just talking about character. I'm talking about accomplishments. So I'm not all in the President Trump. I'm into reality. I'm into facts. I know there ain't nothing in life that's free. I know for a fact there's nothing in life that's free. Nothing. You got to work for it. That's how America was built, working for it. It wasn't free. And people want to go back to slavery. When you used to work as a slave, black people getting their freedom wasn't free. That some people died to get freedom. Some people worked their butt off to pay for freedom because some slaves were able to buy their freedom. They worked for it. It wasn't given to them. They worked for it. They fought for it. Some of them fought in the Civil War, died before they could ever see freedom, before they could ever see victory. They fought and died for it. Y'all are some cowards nowadays. Not none of y'all because y'all perfect. I'm talking about somebody on another live stream. Cowards. Don't want to work for nothing. Don't want to fight for anything. Don't want to have sweat run down your face for anything. You want everybody to hand something to you. You think your parents owe you something. They don't owe you nothing but to put food in your mouth in a tent over your head. They don't owe you a car. They don't owe you an education. They don't owe you to be nice to you. They don't owe you for you to like them. They're just supposed to keep you alive. That's all your parents supposed to do is keep you alive. And in 2020, people out here being soft. When did this country become soft? This country was made by real men and real women who stood for something. Nobody handed Rosa Parks nothing. Nobody handed the women who were fighting for women's suffrage, they didn't hand them nothing. They fought, they protested, they were spit on, they were talked about, they was humiliated, and they kept pushing. They fought for something. Martin Luther King fought for something. These cows out here running around with signs talking about oppression. Martin Luther King fought for something. And he did it with a smile on his face, and he did it without violence. And you cowards don't know how to mobilize to do anything because you think people are supposed to hand it to you. Ain't nothing in life free. Your death ain't even free. When you die, somebody gonna pay for it. Somebody got to pay to bury you or pay to cremate you. And when they pay to cremate you, somebody got to pay for the urn to put your ashes in. And then they got to pay the light bill for the house that the urn sits in so it's not outside. Nothing in life is free. Air ain't even free. It ain't free. How do you live? You got to work. If you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't eat, you die. Nothing is free. You don't get to skate through life. Come on. What happened to the American spirit? What happened to strong men in America? I like to say strong men. I ain't a woman. I don't know I know what men's supposed to be doing. What is strong men at? Where you at? Some of y'all complaining you ain't got no job. Join the military. Fight for your country. Serve. What you complaining for? Serve. Oh, the white man got me down. I ain't got no job. I ain't got no opportunities. The military hiring, they got $1 trillion budget. Go join and serve your country. Are you willing to do that? No, you're willing to complain, but you're not willing to serve. You're not willing to serve with your life because you rather sit on the couch and watch TV and complain, but you don't want to serve. I serve my country. I put my life on the line. I almost died, I don't know how many times. And I'm not saying that you're a coward because you don't serve, but I'm saying if you're complaining, you need to go serve. What happened to them men? I'll serve my country right now. If it came down to it, I will put this all aside. I'll put a uniform on and I'll fight for my country. Some of y'all wouldn't even do it because you're a coward. Not y'all on this live stream. I'm talking about somebody on another live stream. Cowards. They won't serve anything but themselves. But then complain about everybody else. And what bothers me the most is the hatred towards the founding fathers of this country. The hatred towards white people in this country. It bothers me because if it wasn't for them white folks, way back then, Christopher Columbus taking chances, going over the seas, not knowing what they're going to end up at. Y'all don't even want to sit and process that. That man sailed out to discover and didn't know if he was going to ever come back. That man didn't know what was going to happen. Some of y'all can't even go down a lake, let alone over the ocean, and discover the Americas. People was already living here. I get it. But look, you lost. You lost the fight. The settlers came over here and won. Well, how is that not fair? Have you ever asked the Aztecs how they became so strong and powerful? The Incas, all these Indian tribes. Have you ever asked them how they got to that point? Because they were killing people and winning wars. And they lost to the Europeans. You lost. Europeans made America what it is today, the greatest country on planet Earth. Thank God for them people. And yeah, unfortunately, some of this happened with slave labor. Slavery was not weird like it is today then. It was normal to have slaves. And some of you Christians out here having you on the high horse, how dare the white man put us into slavery? It was slavery in the Bible. You know the Bible, the one you read and that you swear by.
Thank you.
Egypt. It was slavery in the Bible.
Egypt, Babylon.
Come on, man. Slavery ain't new. It's a
been
condition of humanity. Slavery still goes on right now in North Africa by the Muslims enslaving black Africans, and y'all don't want to talk about it. Thank God for our forefathers. Thank God for the founding fathers. Thank God they had a dream, a mission. It didn't go smoothly. It wasn't perfect, but they saw an expected end. That's called vision. I know for a fact that our founding fathers saw beyond slavery. They saw a means to an end to slavery because the people in the North didn't even, slavery was illegal in the North.
Take you out for dinner.
Slavery was a Southern thing. Illegal in the North. But they don't want to talk about that. Our founding fathers saw that we will all be equal under the Constitution one day. But you can't just wake up one day and just say, look, I had an epiphany from 1,000 years later. Slavery is actually wrong. That's not even in the same brainwave. Anyway, it's not in the same brainwave. And I wish people would stop being holier than thou and realize that if you were alive in the 1600s, what would you be doing? You're probably own a slave if you were in the South and you were wealthy. And if you were not in the South and wealthy, you wouldn't have thought twice about it. And the black folks that lived in the South probably didn't think the same way we think now about slavery. It's not the same. We live in two different worlds. That was barbaric. Us living to the life expectancy of 30 years old, 40 years old is unimaginable. That's why our founding fathers were really young people making big decisions because their life expectancy was half of what ours is today. The world was a different place. It was a different world. And y'all trying to judge the world then like it is now. That's like saying, why didn't Thomas Jefferson use a cell phone? The thought of a cell phone didn't exist back then. Why didn't they just get in a Corvette and a Rolls Royce and just roll down the street and do this and it? The V12 engine today wasn't thought of back then. Airplanes wasn't thought of back then. Y'all trying to apply old principles, new principles to the old way of living. It's a lot of stuff that wasn't even discovered back then. Science wasn't what it is. Medical practices wasn't what it is. Behavioral science wasn't as expressive as it is today. Anyway, let me get to some of these super chats. Allison, thanks so much for the super chat. I think you did another super chat that I want to get to. Allison, thanks so much for the super chat. Father in the Army, 2 other brothers in the Air Force, 2 younger in the Marines. Where do you think all this awesome patriotism comes from? Amen. I have so much respect for people in the military. It's too much respect. I mean, I don't even think there's enough respect you can have. I love it when I see Marines get off the plane. I love it when I see you with the big rucksack coming through the airport with all that stuff hanging everywhere. I want to cry when I see men and women who serve this country. They are heroes. I'll be for, if you want to say raise taxes to benefit the military and first responders, yeah, I'll pay for that. I ain't paying for you to get these hood rats more welfare. I'm not paying for you to get people Obama phones. I'm not paying for you to get people who sitting on they you know what all day doing nothing, and we're just gonna give them money. I support the military getting free education all the way through, even generations to come. There's many things that I want that military first responders get more perks. Anyway, Allison, thanks for another super chat. Graduated magna cum laude, PhD, saved for my 12-year-old degree with no student loans. She saved for it. Will I get all that money back? 2 full-time jobs to afford it. Will she get that money back? No, she won't. But these little pansies running around expecting the world and doing nothing to change the world, they get a free education. Oh, what about the people who paid? They get nothing back? What about the people who, they only say, oh, you took out loans. To be honest, it's quite irresponsible to take out a loan you can't pay for. I'm just keeping it 100. You took out a student loan you can't pay for. That's on you, bro. Get you a job. Save up. If you took out the loan, you should be able to pay for it. I don't want to hear no excuses. Pay for your loan. Pay your debt. Like I said, halfway through my master's degree, I pay for all the classes out of my pocket. I took a loan and I paid it. It's what it is. I didn't complain. I didn't say, oh, I want the government to get my money to pay out my student loans. No, I said I took the loan. I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna pay my loan back. If I got to get 2 or 3 jobs, if I got to go without, I'm gonna pay my loan back. Because I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of integrity. Let's see. Aslam, thanks so much for the super chat. Let's crush them. Are we gonna crush them all right? Robert, thanks so much for the $9.99 or $99.99 super chat. Appreciate it. Nelson, thanks so much for the super chat. Facts, my brother. I got to get that $100 super chat that I saw. Allison with the $100 super chat. Hillary said Trump won't transfer power peacefully after saying to Biden, don't concede to Trump under any circumstance. She still hasn't accepted she lost. I think none of the Democrats accepted that she lost. She lost, man. She lost, bro. She took an L. She took an L, dog. And she deserved all of that L, too. Alan, you're killing it. Love it. Appreciate it. Let's keep it real, people. America is the greatest country on planet Earth. Never been greater. The freaking communist China put out a virus to hurt everybody. I think it was intentional. They put out that virus to hurt everybody. We're going to bounce back. Just listen to the rhetoric of these 2 candidates, and I'm done. I promise. Listen to the rhetoric of the 2 candidates. Donald Trump is saying we need to open up our country. We can't keep our country shut down. You can't keep your gym shut down. I talked to a guy yesterday, lost his whole gym, or the other last weekend in California, lost his whole gym during the pandemic, lost it all. He literally almost started crying when he was telling me about it. Like, we can't keep our country shut down. Donald Trump has reiterated, we can't keep our country shut down. We need to open it up. If the masks work, then wear a mask. They know the masks don't work and they full of crap. Can't keep our country shut down. What is Joe Biden and the Democrats saying? We need to shut the country down. We need to shut the country down. We need to shut the country down until we get a vaccine. What? A vaccine isn't 100% proof. The flu vaccine is like 15 to 30%, if that. And I ain't took one in 7 years. And I don't think I had the flu. I think I got COVID this year, but I don't think I had the flu. I think I had COVID. Me and my wife, I think we had COVID. We had all the symptoms. What do? We laid low. We stayed away from people, and we got better. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What were we doing? We were building our immune system. We weren't sitting around crying and begging the government. We boosted our immune system. We hydrated, Pedialyte, all of that stuff. And that is what it is. Democrats are evil, man. They're not who they maybe not who they used to be. I don't know them to be anything else but evil, but according to what some say, not who they used to be. Yeah, will the Democrats pack the Supreme Court? Yes, they will.
Mm-hmm.
We already won. Like we packed the Supreme Court because of your vote. We packed the Supreme Court. When I say pack it, within the legal parameters, within standing, and I believe that it's probably in the Constitution about how the Supreme Court is managed.
It is.
But we got our opportunities and we put conservatives in the Supreme Court. Elections have consequences. We voted to make sure this happened. Y'all lost. But when they get in, they're going to try to use, I don't know what kind of executive power. I don't know if they're going to use executive power. I don't know how they're going to end up getting the court, or maybe if they get the House and Senate, I don't know. They're going to try to get the court to add more people. So they can add more people and they're going to add all liberals. How stupid is that? Anyway. Allison, thanks for another super chat. Allison must got a big old paycheck this week. Thanks for reading super chats. Sorry to send so many. So happy to finally contribute. Watch you every day. Run for president 2024. I ain't gonna even lie, y'all. I'm sure thinking about it. I'm like Trump. We can't let our country go to crap, man. Even if I wasn't gonna win or nothing. You still got to put some fillers out there, man. You got to get in there, and you got to do your part. Let me say this. And I'm not trying to say I'm running for president. I don't know. God would have to lead me down that path. But this is what I will say. The Bible says, "Knock, and it shall be open. Seek, and you shall find. Ask, and it shall be given unto you." Like, it's very clear that God wants you to take the first step. And when you take the first step, then God will accommodate you according to your faith. And I'm going to get a couple of these super chats that just came in. Our pastor at our church, Dream City Church, which I love that church. Greatest church, best church I've been to, Dream City Church here in the Valley. The pastor's father, who's in his 80s, got on stage and made a statement that I'll never forget. One of the statements was exactly what I said. The other one was he did an analogy as God being the quarterback and your blessings being the football. And when a wide receiver, anybody know anything about football? When a wide receiver run a route, they run and the quarterback throws where they're supposed to be at. That's how a lot of times this stuff get intercepted, because you throw it out there and it looked like they just threw it to the defender. No, the wide receiver is supposed to be there. He throwing it when the wide receiver is breaking down and getting ready to go out. He throw it out there where the wide receiver is supposed to be. And that's how God does your blessings. God has told you to go run the route that he told you to run, that has been predetermined. Before God started your mission, he told you to run this route. You go 5 yards and you cut out. If you go 5 yards, cut out, trust me, I'm going to get it to you. It doesn't matter what the defenders are doing. It don't matter that, God rest his soul, Sean Taylor is out there, and he gonna come and lay the boom on you. Don't worry about that. God said if you run that route, I'll get the ball to you. You just worry about getting to that spot. That ball gonna hit you right in the chest. I'm gonna put it in a place where only you can catch it. I'm preaching. I'm about to take up an offering here in a minute. God is gonna put the ball, position it where only you can get it. Now, if you don't show up to the spot, somebody gonna intercept it and take it. You better show up to the spot. And so, pretty much what I'm telling y'all out there is that you take a step forward, and God will meet you. Don't wait on God to do nothing for you. God said, knock it, and he'll open. You got to do something, and then he'll respond. You do it, he'll respond. Back to the president thing. I in no way, form, or fashion about everything about running president. I don't want nothing to do with politics. I love my life. I feel like I'm touching more people now than I would be in any other position other than probably the president. But my thing is this: if God told me to do it, I'll do it with the expectation that God gonna cover me, and whatever the outcome is gonna be is what God wanted to be. It is what it is. But I tell you what, I'm not gonna wait for somebody to talk to me about it and convince me. It's like, man, take a step. You got to move on. I started all the businesses that I've started because I've decided to take a step, take a risk, and God has never let me fall in anything that I've done. Anyway, let me get a couple of these super chats, then I got to get up out of here. Unless y'all keep super chatting, then I may stay. Let's see. George, thanks so much for the super chat. China and the Democrats did this together with the virus and trying to beat Trump at the poll. 100%. I believe 100%. They did. They either allow it to happen or this was a coordinated effort. And watch we find out later on that this was a coordinated effort. Tim, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Hope all is well. Start by saying that you and ABL opened my eyes politically, and I appreciate what you guys do. Secondly, Kamala Harris mentioned about raising taxes to families that makes more than $400,000. You know, let's see. You must got a second super chat. But she did. She said she's gonna raise taxes on families that make over $400,000. Honest to God, true. That's a lie. They're just talking. They're not gonna change the tax code. They're not gonna cut taxes. They said they're gonna eliminate all the tax cuts that President Trump implemented. That means that everybody under 400 is also gonna have to pay more taxes. Pence said it. She didn't rebut it because we know it's true. Cam quoted honest aid from the time the Republican controlled the Senate because all the Democrats were in the rebel states fighting for slavery. Gene was 100% right. I wish Mike Pence would have caught her on that. Yeah, why was honest aid that way? Because these Democrats was fighting for slavery. These Democrats was owning slaves and wanting slavery to continue. Now, what's the Democratic definition on average American families? Because I don't think average American families make that much, do they? Or am I tripping? 100%. I mean, you're right. You're right, Tim. 100%. These people are so fake. It's like blowing my mind. Gary, thanks so much for the super chat. Let's see. Bajeric or Bajeric. I can't read, y'all. I wasn't blessed with that. I can talk, but I can't read. The fact that let me not speak that over my life. The fact that there's even a group that would consider voting for Biden Harris means that you and your message need an even bigger platform. God bless you and your family from Alabama. Roll Tide. Vote Trump. Watch B. Tatum. Amen and amen. The left want us to completely depend on the government. That's why they want us to shut our country down and crumble the economy. If they win, which they won't, believe that. 100%. Listen. Let me say this. I think I have to say this. The Democrats don't want you to have freedom. They want the government to control you. They don't want you to have a God. They want the government to be your God. They don't want you to have a father or a husband. They want the government to be your father, and they want the government to be your husband. People are evil. They want to control you. They want to tell you what kind of car you drive. They want to tell you what kind of food you can eat. They want to tell you what kind of places you can go, where you can't go. 100%. This is what Democrats' plan is. All you got to do is listen to it for 30 seconds. Have you seen the video documentary on YouTube about the Biden's involvement in China called Riding the Dragon? It's very eye-opening and scary. I'm gonna watch that documentary. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate it. Let's see. Self-built language. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for doing this. Being a black man myself, when I speak up, I get attacked by my own people. Makes me want to just leave them behind. Leave them. Self-built. Leave them. Leave them behind. You don't owe them nothing. Leave them. Leave them behind. I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to say this, and people may not like what I have to say, but the black community, and this is my honest opinion, and I'm not trying to be mean to nobody. The black community and many black people are consistent in my mind of the visualization of the Titanic. It's crumbling. The ideas that a lot of black people hold in America, black culture, quote unquote, is sinking like the Titanic. And there's people like me and you and others are jumping off of that and saying, look, bro, Cardi B and all this other stuff, this stuff ain't cool. Voting for Democrats? How dare you? Anti-police? We can't walk in the house if being a black man in America? That's Titanic stuff. Y'all keep blaming the white man. That's Titanic stuff. That stuff ain't going nowhere. We done jumped off of that boat. Get on your life jacket, bro. You tell them, come on, I'm going to save you. Oh, you want to sink? Then sink by yourself. I don't care how people think about me. Y'all know I get it from black folks. I don't care. I don't need y'all. If you either for me or against me, and there's black people that are for me, there's white people that are for me. I got enough people that are for me. I don't care who against me. And to be honest, that's the natural sense. In the spiritual realm, as long as God is for me, I don't care who against me.
You him. Yeah. So appreciate y'all for joining. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Peace.